falling. You're plummeting through empty space, wind rushing past, ground approaching. Then you jolt awake, heart pounding, sheets twisted around you. Falling dreams are among the most common nightmares, and they usually signal one thing: loss of control. Something in your waking life feels unstable. Maybe your job is uncertain. Maybe a relationship is slipping away. Maybe you've taken on more than you can handle, and the ground beneath you feels shaky. The psychology here is straightforward. When your brain processes anxiety during sleep, it reaches for physical metaphors. And what better metaphor for losing your grip on life than literally losing your grip on solid ground? The intensity of the fall often correlates with the intensity of your anxiety. A gentle floating descent might indicate mild unease. A terrifying free fall suggests something bigger is eating at you. Here's the interesting part. Some researchers believe falling dreams occur during the transition between wakefulness and sleep, when your muscles suddenly relax and your brain interprets this as actual falling. Your mind creates a narrative to explain the sensation. Either way, falling dreams are your psyche's alarm system telling you something needs attention. Flying. Flying dreams feel different from other dreams. There's a lightness to them, a sense of possibility. You're soaring above everything that normally weighs you down. When you dream of flying, your subconscious is usually expressing one of two things: freedom or ambition. Either you're celebrating an escape from limitations, or you're reaching for something higher than your current reality allows. The details matter. Are you flying effortlessly, gliding through clear skies? That suggests confidence and optimism. You feel capable of achieving your goals. Are you struggling to stay airborne, barely clearing obstacles? That points to ambition mixed with doubt. You want to rise, but something keeps pulling you down. Flying dreams often appear during periods of transition. New jobs, new relationships, new chapters of life. Your brain is processing the exhilaration and terror of change simultaneously. Some people can turn flying dreams into lucid dreams, becoming aware they're dreaming while still inside the experience. Once you realize you're flying in a dream, you can often control the flight. This sensation of control within the dream can actually build confidence that carries into waking life. Your brain practices success while you sleep. Being chased. Something is pursuing you. You don't know what it is, but you know it's dangerous. Your legs feel heavy. No matter how fast you run, the threat gets closer. Being chased is one of the most universal dream experiences, crossing cultures and centuries. And the meaning is almost always the same. You're running from something in your waking life that you don't want to face. The pursuer in your dream often represents whatever you're avoiding. It might be a difficult conversation, a responsibility you've been neglecting, an emotion you've been suppressing. Your subconscious knows you can't outrun it forever, so it forces you to experience the chase night after night until you turn around and confront it. Pay attention to what's chasing you. If it's a person, consider who in your life represents pressure or threat. If it's a monster or shadowy figure, you might be running from a part of yourself you don't want to acknowledge. The chase usually ends one of two ways. Either you wake up before being caught, or you're caught and discover the threat wasn't as terrifying as you feared. Both outcomes contain lessons. Sometimes running is futile. Sometimes the thing chasing you just needs to be faced. Showing up naked. You're in a crowded room, a meeting, a classroom, a public space, and suddenly you realize you're completely naked. Everyone can see you. There's nowhere to hide. Nakedness dreams tap into our deepest fears about vulnerability and exposure. We all have parts of ourselves we keep hidden, aspects we don't want others to see. These dreams surface when that protective barrier feels threatened. The context reveals the specific anxiety. Naked at work? You might fear your professional competence being questioned. Naked at a social event? You might worry about social acceptance. The location tells you which area of life feels most exposed. Interestingly, how others react in the dream matters as much as your own nakedness. If dream characters don't notice or don't care, your subconscious might be telling you that your fears of judgment are overblown. Nobody's scrutinizing you as closely as you think. If they're laughing or pointing, you're processing genuine experiences of embarrassment or shame. Some cultures interpret nakedness dreams positively, as symbols of authenticity and truth, stripping away pretense to reveal the real self. The interpretation depends on how the dream makes you feel. Taking an exam. You're sitting in a classroom. An exam paper lands in front of you. You look at the questions and realize you haven't studied. You don't even recognize the subject. Time is running out. Exam dreams persist long after school ends. Adults who haven't taken a test in decades still dream about failing them. The classroom becomes a theater where your subconscious stages anxieties about performance and judgment. These dreams typically appear during periods of evaluation, job reviews, important presentations, any situation where your competence will be measured. Your brain knows the stakes and rehearses the worst-case scenario while you sleep. The specifics vary, but the feeling stays constant: unpreparedness. You had time to study but didn't. You knew this was coming but ignored it. The dream forces you to confront the gap between what you should have done and what you actually did. Here's the twist. Exam dreams rarely mean you're actually unprepared. More often, they reflect imposter syndrome, the nagging belief that you don't deserve your success and will eventually be exposed. High achievers have these dreams more frequently than underperformers. Your anxiety about failing is often inversely related to your actual likelihood of failure. Losing teeth. Your teeth are crumbling, falling out one by one. You spit them into your hand and watch in horror as more come loose. You can feel the gaps with your tongue. Teeth dreams are viscerally disturbing in a way other dreams aren't. They tap into something primal, something connected to our physical sense of self, and they're remarkably common across every culture studied. The interpretations vary, but most cluster around a few themes: anxiety about appearance, fear of aging, and loss of power. Teeth represent how we present ourselves to the world: our smile, our bite, our ability to consume and process what life gives us. When they fall out in dreams, something about our self-image feels threatened. Some psychologists connect teeth dreams to communication anxiety. Teeth shape our speech. Losing them could symbolize fear of saying the wrong thing or not being able to say anything at all. Others link these dreams to major life transitions, moments when we're shedding an old identity and haven't yet grown into the new one. Like losing baby teeth before adult teeth emerge. The loss feels catastrophic in the moment, but precedes growth. Meeting a celebrity. You're having a conversation with someone famous, a movie star, a musician, an athlete. They're treating you like an equal, maybe even like a friend. The encounter feels significant. Celebrity dreams reveal something about our relationship with recognition and status. The famous person in your dream usually represents qualities you admire or aspire to possess. Meeting them symbolizes your desire to embody those qualities yourself. Pay attention to which celebrity appears. If you dream of meeting a brilliant scientist, you might crave intellectual recognition. If it's a beloved actor, perhaps you want to be seen and appreciated. The specific person is a projection of specific aspirations. Sometimes celebrity dreams are simpler. Media saturation means famous faces populate our mental landscape. We see them constantly, so they appear in our dreams naturally. But even then, your subconscious chose that particular celebrity for a reason. The nature of your interaction matters. Are you equals in the dream? That suggests confidence in your own worth. Are you starstruck and awkward? You might feel unworthy of the success you desire. Is the celebrity dismissive or cruel? You could be processing fears of rejection by those you admire. Visiting familiar places. You're back in your childhood home. Walking through halls you haven't walked in years. Everything is exactly as you remember, or slightly different, in ways you can't quite identify. Dreams of familiar places pull us backward through time. These locations aren't random. They're stages where significant memories were formed. Returning to them in dreams means your subconscious is processing something connected to that period of your life. The childhood home appears most frequently. This makes sense. It's where your personality was formed, where your first experiences of safety and danger occurred. When life feels uncertain, your dreaming mind returns to the original template. It's looking for reference points. Schools, old workplaces, former neighborhoods. Each carries its own emotional weight. The place itself is less important than what it represents. A school might symbolize learning and growth, or it might represent feeling tested and judged. Your personal history with that location determines its meaning. Notice the condition of these places in your dreams. Are they well maintained or falling apart? Are rooms where you remember warmth now cold and empty? The state of the dream location often reflects your current relationship with that chapter of your life. Death or dying. You witness your own death, or someone you love dies, or death is simply present, hovering at the edges of the dream. You wake up shaken, mortality suddenly real. Death dreams terrify us because we assume they're predictive. They're not. Dreaming of death almost never means actual death is coming. Instead, death in dreams represents transformation. Endings that make room for beginnings. When you dream of your own death, your subconscious is processing a major identity shift. The person you were is dying, so the person you're becoming can emerge. New job, new relationship, new phase of life. The old self must be released. Dreaming of someone else's death is trickier to interpret. Sometimes it reflects genuine fear of losing them. Sometimes that person represents a quality or relationship pattern that's ending in your life. Their dream death marks the death of what they symbolize. The type of death matters. Peaceful deaths suggest acceptance of change. Violent deaths indicate resistance or fear. Being unable to prevent a death points to feelings of helplessness about changes beyond your control. These dreams are invitations to examine what's ending and what's beginning. Death is rarely the full story. Something always follows. Repeating dreams. The same dream keeps coming back, night after night, week after week, sometimes for years. Same scenario, same feelings, same unresolved ending. Repeating dreams are the most persistent messages your subconscious sends. If a dream recurs, your psyche is trying to tell you something important, something you haven't yet understood or addressed in waking life. The repetition itself is significant. Your brain doesn't waste energy on irrelevant processing. If it keeps generating the same dream, the underlying issue remains unresolved. The dream will continue until you decode its message and take action. Common repeating dreams include being chased, falling, teeth falling out, and showing up unprepared. Each points to persistent life patterns. Chronic anxiety, ongoing feelings of inadequacy, situations you keep finding yourself in without knowing why. The key to stopping a repeating dream is understanding what it's asking of you. What problem does it highlight? What emotion does it evoke? What would need to change in your waking life for this dream to become unnecessary? Some people find that simply acknowledging the dream's message reduces its frequency. Your subconscious finally feels heard. The urgent repetition can stop because the communication succeeded. The dream did its job.